So what is cellular respiration? So while photosynthesis is the process by which complex organic compounds are made from simple inorganic compounds, how do we use them for energy? We actually use it via cellular respiration. So cellular respiration is the process in which we break down these molecules and turn them into a usable form of energy. So we take in foods like carbohydrates, fats, maybe proteins and things, and we undergo this process known as cellular respiration, use a few different energy systems in order to create ATP, which is the energy currency of our body. And so this allows us to metabolize and function as human beings. Okay, this is quite an intense area of study, so please go back through these slides later on. Like, take the time to try and work through it at your own pace, because it is pretty intensive, and we are kind of zooming through a bunch of content today, just because there is like a lot, and just kind of give you guys like a bit of an intro to these areas of study. Okay, let me have some water first. I might just like reach out something. Okay, hopefully you guys can still see me. I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from being sick. It's very annoying. Okay, so cellular respiration is a metabolic process whereby ATP is formed in cells from ADP and inorganic phosphate, and it uses glucose as a fuel. Okay, so ATP is a molecule that contains usable chemical energy in the form of a high energy bond, which can then drive reactions within cells. And they've got this dramatic statement: without ATP, we would die. So, this kind of blew my mind when I realized it, but ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and that adenosine in the ATP is the same adenosine in our nucleotides in DNA. Isn't that cool? And like obviously, like DNA contains phosphate molecules as well, so kind of just like shuffling about a few of these can create different things. So you've either got DNA or you've got energy. I just think that's so cool. So that ATP is used to give us give us energy, and it's like an energy currency in our cells. So ATP is a one adenosine molecule with 3 phosphate, and in chemistry, like bonds contain lots of energy typically, for a lot of the time. So snapping a phosphate molecule off that ATP to create ADP, which is adenosine diphosphate, or 2 phosphates, this releases some energy which we can use, and it can facilitate muscular contractions and allow us to go about our daily lives. Once we've actually snapped off this bond, we can actually rebuild it and make ATP once again from that ADP. So we'll end up with adenosine triphosphate once again. And then once again, we've got that high energy bond there. So snapping it, release the energy of ADP and inorganic phosphate, and then rebuild it. So we go through this entire recycling process, and it's really useful at allowing us to make energy. Okay, I see this kind of post around on my feed a lot, and it's like, what's the most important thing you remember from school? And people go, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I want you to know right now that this is rubbish, and don't ever say this again, please, because what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. I couldn't tell you what that means, and VCE couldn't either. If you put that on your exam, you're going to get no marks for that. So please don't write that down. What you should say though is that cellular respiration, or the mitochondria, actually, you just say the mitochondria is a site of aerobic cellular respiration. Okay, that's what I want you to say, not powerhouse of the cell. So, we've got a few pathways here. My laptop's a bit slow. We've got 2 pathways for cellular respiration, either aerobic or anaerobic. And so aerobic, I just think air, sounds like air, like we breathe in air. This is respiration which requires oxygen, and it produces lots of ATP. It occurs in the mitochondria, and it occurs quite a lot slower than other pathways. The other pathway, anaerobic respiration, this doesn't use oxygen, and it also produces ATP, but it produces a lot less ADP. However, it is a bit faster, but it produces like such a tiny amount of ATP. It occurs in the cytosol of the cell, and once again, no oxygen. This little prefix an, it means no, so no air or no oxygen respiration. Okay?